Today I'm driving a 2019 Cadillac XT4 Luxury. Luxury being the extravagant word Cadillac uses for base model. Now, entry-level Cadillacs have always been a bizarre animal. When you buy a Cadillac, you expect luxury, features, style, performance. But the fact is, all of that costs money, and in order to attract buyers looking to spend less, vehicle manufacturers, and yes, Cadillac is definitely guilty of this, will release a base model or entry-level trim in order to attract buyers looking to spend less, hoping to get them in the door, make them realize they want more, and subsequently spend more on a higher level trim. Shoot, a lot of times you won't even find a base model on the lot because the manufacturer simply did a paper launch starting at MSRP only to hardly ever build any, forcing customers to suck it up and buy one with a few options sprinkled on in order to take one home today. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with this car, but it's not exactly bursting at the seams with features. When you drive this car, you are driving this car. Yes, you. If you need to stop, it's not going to warn you or do it for you. If you need to slow down for the car in front of you, the basic cruise control will happily run right into them. If you need to open the lift gate, you're doing it yourself. If you need to charge your phone, you better plug the damn thing in yourself. If you can't see at night, you better get good at flicking your high beams on and then off for every oncoming driver, because the headlights in this thing are like the sun strapped to the front of it, and you will blind anything in your path. The point is, there's not a lot extra given here over, say, a 2001 Camry. But what do you get in an entry-level Cadillac? For one, you get some fucking respect from all of the peasants around you in traffic. You might be driving the cheapest they come, but 90% of the poors can't tell the difference. The second is leather, or at least something that imitates leather. I honestly can't tell the difference because I'm poor. The steering wheel is also leather and heated. It has plenty of buttons and switches. And third, the most basic of power equipment. Power door locks, power windows, and power front seats. Surprisingly, both front seats are power with lumbar adjustment. Don't get too excited though. The lumbar adjustment only goes in and out, not up and down. The front seat legroom is also pretty impressive for a compact SUV. You can tell they slimmed down the center console as much as possible to allow for more American proportions. This has unfortunately had the side effect of making the cup holders less American. The radio isn't Bose, but it sounds phenomenal. Way better than that Jeep I drove in the last video. Cadillacs have always had pretty exceptional bass radios. You get wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay standard, along with a host of connected services. And if you don't feel like connecting your phone every time you get into the car, the Bluetooth will automatically connect and start playing on its own. Backup camera and parking sensors are also standard. The camera quality is above average with really good nighttime visibility. I really like how they put the volume knob down here on the center console. Surrounding with buttons though was pretty pointless. You're never going to press any of them. It's a real discreet way of raising the volume over your noisy passengers. And if you're a sociopath who prefers to drive around in complete silence, the active noise cancellation does a really good job of blocking out drivetrain noise. The headlights are also phenomenal. Like I said before, it's basically the sun strapped to the front of this thing. If you come up on anybody with the high beams on, you might as well super glue their eyes shut. They're not going to be seeing anything for a while. The gauge cluster is also just a really quality piece to look at. I really love how the digital display blends flawlessly into the analog gauges, along with the speed just propped up right in the center, making it really easy for anybody to just get in and drive. The shifter might slow some people down. Having to press the button on the side of it before shifting into gear is kind of redundant to me, but it does stop people from accidentally bumping the car into gear with their foot on the brake. Once you get used to it, it's precise and second nature. The nice thing about the shifter is you never actually have to put it in park when you get to your destination. You can simply turn it off and it'll do the nasty work of shifting to park for you. After all, you're driving a Cadillac. The back seats are equally Cadillac. They have exceptional headroom for your kids that never moved out. And the legroom isn't really your problem, but they will survive. Because this car bewilderingly got heated front seats, it also has heated rear seats. The rear storage area is a disappointing sacrifice to the style gods. Well, there's ample space back here for a family trip to the beach. I doubt you'll be staying the whole weekend. Underneath the storage floor, however, is a particularly uncommon spare tire. Outside is easily the biggest draw to this car, its striking appearance. Now, I do believe the style of this car can be controversial. Let me know in the comments what you think. At first, I thought the taillights were over the top, but the dual real exhaust tips are a feature you don't see on a lot of cars these days, especially in a shape other than just circles. Over time, the look of this car really grew on me. It is distinctively Cadillac. You cannot mistake it for any other car on the road. aside from, say, another Cadillac. Driving it is less Cadillac, more hamster hyped up on caffeine. It doesn't drive bad, it's just not very heavy. Coming in at like 3,900 pounds, it's about the weight of a mid-sized car, which makes it hard to control bumps in the road without turning the thing into a wet noodle every time you hit a corner. You certainly feel disturbances in the road, but the chassis is competent enough to shake it off. It has good dampening to control roll going into a corner, but when you hit a bump, it'll rebound really high, like unexpectedly high. It's not incredibly sporty, but the steering is light and predictable. The all-wheel drive isn't going to wow you with mid-corner control, and it doesn't have very much impact on the very Cadillac-like 7.5-ish seconds 0 to 60 times. It does a good job of composing the car in low-speed, high-throttle maneuvers and on snow. And that's about it. If you don't need it, you won't even notice it's there, turning off completely in tour mode. The engine, although it sounds like a cement mixer at idle, runs smooth as silk. It has stop start, so you don't even need to hear it. But if you don't like stop start, you can turn it off with the button in the center console. With just 237 horsepower and 250 foot-pounds of torque, it doesn't make crazy power numbers, but with an electric water pump, cylinder deactivation, and a 9-speed transmission, it does more with less and returns about high 20s to low 30 miles per gallon. Because of its incredibly flat torque curve, it feels more powerful than it is. The torque comes in strong at low RPMs, and the transmission is crisp and responsive to cater to it. And I'm sure it will pull hard all the way to its limited top speed of 132 miles per hour. Although it's a base model car, it's still a complete package. While I would like to have things like adaptive cruise and wireless charging, I realize to some people a car is just an appliance to get to work and back, and I can say with confidence that you don't need any of the other options this car has to offer. With just over 60,000 miles and a price tag of about $20,000, I feel like it's a good value for the money. It's a hard sell to me because I would rather have something like an 18-year-old Corvette for that money. But if your heart is set on a Cadillac and not much more, this could be the one for you. I'd like to thank Walker Jones Automotive Group in Waycross, Georgia for providing me with this vehicle. It is for sale, and if you would like to purchase it or one like it, there'll be a link in the video description below. And while you're down there, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. The point is, there's not a lot extra given here over, say, a 2001 Camry.